So welcome to my channel. Not been here for a while. I've been working on myself, my own inner journey, which is, something I encourage all of my clients to do. So if you've also been a bit quiet and a bit hermit and doing the inner work, then I see you. Whoa, that's interesting because this card actually come out just now as well when I done a quick shuffle earlier of what is it that we need to know in this moment right now. So we have the King of Cups shown himself again. Now I like to take pile number 2, but it depends. Sometimes I change my mind. I'm Gemini, I'm allowed to do that. Okay, okay. So we've got some serious energies here. We've got, now by the way, you'll get used to this, but you can see I've got writing on them. When I first got this deck, which we're talking about 20 plus years ago now, I didn't know Roman numerology. So I wrote the numbers on the card, on the major arcana, so I could learn the Roman numerology. So yeah. So here's our message for today from the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. And I love Pamela Coleman Smith, who is the person who actually done the art on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck alongside Arthur Edward Waite, who kind of was the idea behind it originally. But I feel like there's a lot of her energy channeled into this as well. The first thing that I'm feeling here, now this won't be for all of you, this will be for some of you. Remember, this is a collective reading, so it's not going to align with all of you. So with the Wheel of Fortune here, now I call this the Karma card. And you will see my deck that I've created, Sacred Insights Tarot. You will see my version of the major arcana as the more you visit this channel, because I'm going to be sharing more and more of my cards. So this is interesting. Yeah, I call this the Karma card. And also, sometimes we have to trust that the wheel is still going to turn. We just don't always know where that wheel is going to stop, do we? A bit like, when you're in the casino, you're taking a gamble on things. Not that I'm encouraging you to do that, of course. But also in life, isn't it a bit like that as well? It's a bit like that in relationships, in business, in all areas of our life. Sometimes we have to take a little bit of a gamble. And we don't always completely know the outcome, but we have to have faith and trust that. Also, this is known as one of the luckiest cards in the deck. It's traditionally very lucky card. So if you're asking a particular question and you receive the Wheel of Fortune, I would always say take that as a good sign as well. The King of Cups is here and the Emperor. Now there's this real kind of push and pull between the masculine, the structure, the doing it the right way, the only way, some people would say, maybe, if that's the frame of mind that they're in. But then actually, we need to trust our intuition, our feelings, our emotions with the King of Cups here. And I would say as well, this is about you not disconnecting yourself from your emotions. And sometimes, for doing the right thing, we need to a little bit. As for instance, for those of you that are in a job that you don't particularly like, but you know that you've only got 2 years until you retire. So you just got to get it done for the next couple of years and then you're going to be free, which I bet if that's for those of you that relates to, well done for getting as far as you have. But also sometimes in life we need to take a chance. You know, we need to spin that wheel and see where it lands. So I feel these are interesting cards here. What I'm going to do, I'm also going to pull us a card from the Seasons of the Witch Litha, which is the season that we're in at this moment in time in the UK. Anyhow, I love the Seasons of the Witch. I have all of their decks. I think I've only got one actually that I'm still yet to collect. So, okay, can we have a card, please, Spirit, to kind of give us a bit more clarity on these cards, please? Now, please remember, this is a collective reading. So, you know, this will some bits will relate to some of you, and if it doesn't relate to you, let it go. This is so interesting because I also pulled a card from this deck before I began, and the card that I received was the Country Cottage. How interesting is that? So the Country Cottage and the King of Cups definitely really want to come through strongly today. We've also got here as well the heat wave. Now, in the UK, at this moment in time, as I speak, we have had a heat wave. And it's interesting because when heat arises and we're not used to that heat, it can also stir up emotions. It can stir up anger. It can stir up frustrations, things like that. And I think of this in the terms of, you know, yin and yang, because we're coming to this point of the height of our yang, which is, you know, the fiery element, the masculine element, the sun. We're coming to that kind of the peak of that at the moment. And if you've got emotions and things that you haven't worked on, when the heat of the moment arises, it can kind of all come spilling out. So, yeah, and I'm just looking at the cards here, interestingly, as well. There is something ominous being illuminated by the flames that await. That's so interesting. So interesting. Now, the Country Cottage, it's time for the seeker to look within. What haunts you can only be faced by you. So again, that aligns with what I'm picking up here intuitively. There's something here for you to go and face, deeper work inside yourself. And this has also been very much highlighted or mirrored by some situation around you. So use that situation, this building of the heat, this building of the pressure. Use that situation for you to be able to go in and do the inner work, because quite often things trigger us when we've got deeper work to do, because it could be something that you haven't been triggered at over for a long time, but suddenly you're finding it's triggering you again. Or go in and do another layer of the work. That's what I would suggest. So yeah, interesting mix of cards here. I'm also going to pull a card from my own deck as well that I have created, Sacred Insights Tarot. Now, I am actually waiting for a really good quality copy of the cards. And when I get those, obviously I'll start using those on this channel as well. Well, that card flicked out, didn't it, actually? Gonna take that one. Wow. Okay, so my deck is quite abstract. Saying that, some of it is, some of it isn't. Each of these images I've either drawn by hand or they're photographs that have been edited. So I might have zoomed in on one part of, say, a flower, for instance, or also when I've been somewhere and I feel the energy, I'll take a photograph of something in that area. So each card is imbued with the energy. And this artwork I've actually been creating over the last 15 or so years. Whoa, there we go. Oh, Kuan Yin. would like to show herself today. Beautiful. So here we have the beautiful Guan Yin, and this card here is creation, really, ultimately. It was also in the major arcana. It is also the magician. So this in my deck is called spells. And with Guan Yin here as well, you know, she's the goddess of compassion, and she also looks out for us and for children and people lost at sea as well, I believe. Well, I might just be making that up. But I'm pretty sure that is also part of, to be fair, she is just the most amazing, amazing energy. And if she hasn't come into your reality before, if this is the first time, then go and explore her myths. It's powerful, really powerful. And for me, she just brings this beautiful, nurturing, mothering energy. So I feel that this is some of that energy that you need. And also, this is about you having faith, having trust, is what I'm being told as well, in the higher energies. You know, put your faith maybe into some of your spiritual practices again. Maybe you've shut yourself down a little bit. You've become very logical, you know, very grounded. But now it's time for you to get in touch more with your emotions, speak your truth, and connect with a deity, connect with a beautiful goddess, or maybe you like to connect with plant spirits or plant medicine. You know, maybe you need some. I love drinking mugwort tea, beautiful, beautiful tea, although I'm not recommending it because if you are going to drink mugwort, please do look at the contraindications, because if you are pregnant and you drink mugwort, it can actually, you know, bring on labour. So it's one of the things with it is good to help with the labour that's struggling, or, you know, if you're overdue, things like that. But as I say, I'm not a doctor. I can't recommend anything. I'm just sharing with you something that I like to drink. But there's lots of different plant medicines out there that you can explore. And so they say is that things that we're drawn to in nature, so say you keep seeing a certain herb or a certain plant in nature and you keep seeing it, or it's growing in your garden, it's growing in your yard, go and explore that plant, because that may be because it wants you to recognize it. And you don't have to ingest these plants either. You can work with the smoke. You can work with just holding the plant, putting it under your pillow. Same with mugwort. You can place it under your pillow, and mugwort helps to stimulate dreams as well. So I'm going off on a tangent there, but I love anything to do with plant medicines and nature and, you know, the real ways of being, the original ways of being. They call it alternative medicine, but actually it's the original medicine. So I feel here there's something that wants to connect with you in that way. Maybe you want to connect with plants in a deeper way, with nature. Also here with the spells. Now, with this deck, ultimately, what Spirit have said to me is, with these cards, it's what you feel from this card, from this image, that's really important. It's not what I feel or what's come through me as I'm creating them. It's actually what it is for you. But knowing that this is spells, this is the magician in the traditional tarot, it's about knowing that you are the creator of your own reality. You have all the tools that you need. So I'm just going to have a sip of my drink here. If you like my little cup with my beautiful butterfly there. Lots of butterflies on the outside. So, yeah, remembering that you are the creator of your reality and you have all the tools that you need. Maybe you've forgotten because we're born with everything that we need, and you are whole just as you are. You are a spiritual being having a human existence. And sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we need a reminder of that. So today, you're having a little tap on the shoulder from your soul, your higher self, your spiritual self, God, source, the divine, whatever language you use. This otherworldly energy, this energy of creation, is tapping you on the shoulder to say, remember who you are. Remember who you are. Take back your power. Speak your truth. Tap into your emotions. Speak your truth. And face what it is that you need to face within you. And sometimes, as I said at the start of this video, I've had a period of really going deep within. And I'm still got loads of work to do. I'm by far perfect. You can hear I'm clearing something here energetically. This could be for you guys, because that comes through me as well. But it could also be my own stuff as well that I'm clearing here. So this beautiful energy that I've called in here, I always open a sacred space. And we've got all this energy. I don't know if you can see them all, but we've got these beautiful crystals as well here. And our helpers and guides in spirit, they're calling you. They're saying to you, come back home to yourself. Trust in the process of life. It's a crazy game, isn't it? Game of life, as they call it. And maybe it's not a game to you, but sometimes I feel we do have to play it a little bit like a game, because we've become so far away from nature. A lot of us. I'm not saying that some of you here may be very close to nature. You may be living off grid in some wild wood in your beautiful cottage or on the land or wherever, and that's great. But for a lot of us, we're still dealing with day-to-day life of paying the bills, paying the rent, all the rest of it. But it's here you're being called to remember as well your soul, your higher self. So, yeah, wow. I hope you've enjoyed your reading today. If you would like a one-to-one reading with me, please do reach out. I will put the link into the video if that is you're watching this on YouTube. Otherwise, please go to my website, www.sacredinsightstarot.com, and you can book a private reading with me. I do have a wait list. I don't offer as many sessions as I used to anymore, because I'm busy doing other things like this, and I also teach as well, this kind of stuff. So yeah, sending you so much love. I really just want to pull a crystal here as well. So what crystal is really calling me today? I mean, I don't actually know the names of all of my crystals. I'm very intuitive with them. But okay, so this one is calling out to me, which I believe is rhodochrosite. So please correct me if I'm wrong. So this is talking to me as well about healing again the root chakra, healing any trauma from your past. And sometimes, the only way we can do that is start to open up and speak our truth and trust that, you're a powerful being and you've got everything you need to deal with this as well. Somebody's maybe taken your power away in the past, or you've allowed them to, or maybe you're still there. But this is about taking your power back and taking it back from the ground up. So as well, making sure that you've got all your boxes ticked, as in you've got enough rent to rent somewhere if you're thinking of leaving a partner or something like that. Tick all your boxes, I would say. If you want to leave your job, the work. Make sure that you've got enough savings. Make sure you've ticked all your boxes before you take that leap. But you've got it all within you. Yeah. Wow. Okay, bye for now. So much love, and I'll be back very, very soon.